Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Zach, and I'm bringing you another video, and this time we're going to be talking about why ignorance is bliss. A lot of people talk about this and say ignorance is bliss, but when you finally figure out the meaning of it, it might seem a heck of a lot more than just a saying, and I believe I have found my own definition of it that might apply to other people. Maybe you have your own definition, and if that you do, that'd be really cool. Maybe send it to me in a private message, YouTube comments, whatever. When we make a Facebook page and stuff, you can do that and everything, or just make a video. And I don't remember if YouTube has video responses anymore, but you can put the link in and say, go ahead and watch my video in which I talk about why I think ignorance is bliss. But I believe it is ignorance is bliss because pretty much we, as a society, follow this machine. Either the Hollywood machine, the government machine, it's all this stuff to fill our minds with all this stuff, and that's awesome. If you're part of that, that's awesome. You're in the ignorance part of it because you follow all that. But that's blissful for you because you don't realize that you're actually in a cage. And I guess this could be the number first episode of The Cage, which is going to be a series on here where I'm going to talk about us being in a cage and everything. And I have heard, I'll talk about it later, but possibly Charles Manson has made it out of the cage. And he is mentally free in his own world. But you are stuck in a cage. But that's why we have this government, this leadership, and we have all this stuff in the TV shows and the magazines and stuff. Why do you think they make so much money? Because you try to distract yourself from realizing that you're really in this cage. And when life's real simple. And when you do drugs and shit, I know it might sound really stupid. And they may be like, oh, dude, you're just like, yeah, smoke weed and shit. Nah, but actually when you think about it, and all the celebrities and people that are famous and everything, I believe that they did drugs and figured it out, and it's not created, the creative juices flowing from the drugs as much as it is just realizing that this world is super simple, and people's minds are very simple, and you can try to control them. That's why ISIS gets people, that's why the U.S. government uses like all these army tactics and tries to show the good parts of it, and people apply to it. People play like a country song and like, woo, let's go for our country. Yeah, this sounds awesome and everything. And it's just one big distraction, man. And it's just distracting you. But that's a good thing. I mean, it kind of sucks because you're in a distraction. If everyone could figure out that we're just being distracted, we would be able to get out of this cage possibly. But the people that figure out that they're in a cage, like you're in this mental cage, man. You're in this human body, and the human body stops you from doing a lot of stuff. That's why people do psychedelics and stuff, because they can go deep into their brain and kind of get away from this body. And they say that's an out-of-body experience. And a lot of people like that because you realize that you're trapped, and there isn't a lot in this life. There's a work, there's jobs, you go to this job. Why do you go to this job and work for this so-called boss? But the only reason he is the boss is because you gave him the power, and you believe in this societal thing that he is the boss. And everyone always just says, oh, dude, that's just how it is. But that doesn't mean that's how it has to be. That just means the last 100 years of people were too stupid to figure it out. But if we work as a nation and go and beat this, and I know the government doesn't like this stuff, and it stops people from trying to do this stuff and everything, because they have you in this little like cage. You're in this hamster ball. You forever run, but you're just hitting against walls. You're in a room. You can't open the door. They close that door. And yeah, and a lot of people like to do psychedelics, like I said, because it does give you that out-of-body experience. And there's one man who opens the door and walks through and comes back, and he's got that psychedelic or drug experience or whatever it is, experience in anything, and the other person doesn't. They're too afraid to go through that door, and they go ahead and say, what was it like? And you can just tell them, boom, I don't have to tell you what it's like. Go experience it for yourself. But they're too afraid to do it. So then they just give up or whatever, or get depressed over the fact that you won't tell them. But you don't have to tell them because you've seen it and you know. But I think everyone should learn about stuff and think about stuff more. And definitely go into your brain and stuff. And everyone says that only 10% of your brain's being used. And I totally believe that. And I think drugs open it up. And I'm not trying to say everyone needs to do drugs. I think that's a horrible idea. I think even legalization of weed is pretty stupid. Even though I like weed. I'm not talking bad against it and the effects, but I just believe it's not for everyone. And we definitely need sober people. We need people with motivation and stuff. We need people to feed into this machine, and that's why it's so big. Because instead of what happens is the people who make it so far because they are sober tell you, "Don't you want to make it to me?" And there's an old story about these worms or some kind of thing, some little insect, and they're all in a pile, and one is on the bottom, and he climbs all the way to the top, and he says, "There's nothing up here. What's so great?" And they say, "There's nothing up here." That's the thing. We just love laughing at people trying to climb up here and thinking it's so great. And that's the whole game. It's just them trying to say, look at me, and it's just one big distraction while they're laughing at you failing. And that's the thing, and it's all just this mind game. But when you allow yourself out of that game and you don't try to take full control and be in control of your body all the time, and you let your mind drift and you stay open-minded and stuff, you're in your own little place, but you're still trapped. You know you haven't made it out because you still see the world and realistic and stuff, but supposedly Charles Manson has beat it, and he is out in his own little world. And that's why when people ask him questions, he talks so weirdly, because he isn't in control of his body to be able to talk right. He is in his own little Charles Manson world on his own little planet with everything he wants, eating ice cream if he wants, and that's just in his mind, even though his physical body is in a cell, but his soul and mind are in a totally different place, and his soul is broken out of the body, man. It's all about that. It's breaking the soul out of the body. The body is the cage, and the body is just a protection of the brain. But you need to get out of that brain. The soul is the true you. The brain is just a thing here to protect you while you're on this thing. But I don't know, on this world, but why would you need protection when you're infinitely gonna, well, not infinitely, but indefinitely gonna die? You're just pushing it off. And for anyone who's religious and believes that there's a better afterlife, why the hell are you afraid of death? You would think you would want to just go there and go into the afterlife and do everything better. And I don't know, I just think listening to Joe Rogan, people like me, and different things like that, you can open up your mind and expand yourself and be smarter. And so what? You didn't go to Harvard and get that book smart. Who cares, man? You should be happy with your life. You shouldn't involve your whole life into doing homework and getting A's. Why? Because you say these people have power? The only reason they have power is because you allow them to have power over you. You have the opportunity to say no to your boss. You have the opportunity to not do the homework, not do the stuff for your teachers. They think they have power because you allow them to have power. But they only have the power over you in which you allow them to have. And you might be like, oh, well, fail out of school. I'll never get a real job. Oh, I'll lose my job if I talk back to my boss. But, dude, who cares? Your job that you work 8+ hours a day, 30 days a month, just for what? Like a small TV in an average apartment, or a small house, and every cent you goes into a special fund for your kids' college and everything, so that they can get out of college still in debt and work the next 12 years, 15 years, just pay back the debt and that, and live a crappy life, to have the next 15, 20 years to all go into a retirement fund that they're never even going to get to, because first of all, there's not even going to be Social Security in the next 20, 30 years. Social Security, I mean, it might not be here in 5 years, and our economy is just crashing. America is the #1 economy, but yet we're crashing. But we keep getting into these wars, and we're possibly going to go into back over in Iraq and stuff, and go in and take out ISIS. But yet we still have soldiers covering poppy fields and stuff. And that's just the crazy part. We have all these things, and the government says stuff's bad, but senators smoke pot. Everyone that's rich does drugs, man. And Rush Limbaugh, man. He's done so much Oxycontin, it's not even funny. He lost his hearing and had to have a surgery to get back his hearing. He makes $70 million a year podcasting an hour a day and just complaining about the government and Republicans and this belief and don't kill your kid or have an abortion or whatever. Like, who cares about this stuff? It's all to mess with your mind. And these people are getting paid literally crazy amounts of money, having the best time of their world, living out all their fantasies just because they can trick your mind for a couple of minutes. And that's the thing. Like, I want to be sort of famous, not really famous. I'm not really worried about fame. I'm worried about getting my message out, but at the same time, I'm kind of being hypocritical because I don't like people who try to distract people's minds, but at the same time, I am an illusionist myself, trying to distract people's minds and entertain people. But I'm trying to make you learn. And anyways, if you never learn the stuff from me, and if you don't allow me to distract you and get you that entertainment for that little bit of time, then it's all lost because you're never going to get out of it anyway. And if I just entertain you and you like it, then that's cool. I mean, if you're forever going to stay in ignorance is bliss state, you might as well be happy and entertained, and I'd be happy to entertain you for as long as you would need to be entertained. Or if I can just make your day or make you just think that little bit extra and grow your mind that little bit more to get you in a better thing, and that would be awesome. But anyways, guys, I've been kind of rambling, and I'm not really staying on topic right now. So I'll see you in my next episode, guys. Thank you all for watching. See you in my next episode, guys. Peace out.